Hello all and welcome to this AWS tutorial. In our tutorial today, we will learn how to transfer data from Zendesk to Amazon Redshift leveraging Amazon App-Flow. Pre-prep required for this tutorial. You need to go ahead and sign up for a free Zendesk account at https://www.zendesk.com. This account is free of cost, okay, and does not require any credit card information for sign up. Once you've signed up for your free account or your trial account, go ahead and validate your email address and then log into your account. After you've logged into your account, you need to go ahead and copy your subdomain name. Your subdomain will be between https and .zendesk.com. So this right here in between is your subdomain. So in my case, I have created my free account and my subdomain is this right here, Namrata Aisha Help. So this is my subdomain. So your subdomain will be different. So ensure that you copy that subdomain name. Since we are transferring data from Zendesk to Redshift, we will need to go ahead and provision a Redshift cluster of size DC to large. Now remember, the moment you provision this cluster, you will incur charges, right? So ensure that you release all resources at the end of this tutorial. You need to provision this cluster in your default VPC and associate your default security group. While you are provisioning this cluster, remember to copy your master username and password. Once your Redshift cluster has been provisioned, go ahead and create an empty S3 bucket name, Zendesk temp. Now this is the name that I will leverage in this tutorial, but you are free to create an S3 bucket with any name that you like. Okay, so in my case, I have completed this particular set of steps. So here is my Redshift cluster that has been provisioned. So if you see, this is DC2 large, okay, with 2 nodes. This cluster is up and running and available. I have also created my Zendesk temp empty bucket, and I have also registered for my free or trial account over here with Zendesk. And right here, this is my subdomain name. So my Zendesk account is up and running. Okay, and I have completed all of these steps. This is my Redshift username and this is my password as well. Okay, and this is my subdomain right here on the top. Now, another thing that I have done, and if you want, you can do this at your end. What we will be doing is we will be copying ticket information or ticket data from Zendesk to Amazon Redshift. So by default, when you register for your trial account, right? By default, you will get this one sample ticket record. What I have done is I have created 2 additional records for this demo. And if you want, you can create additional records for yourself as well. Creating ticket records is fairly simple. You just need to go and click on this plus add over here. Go to new, go to ticket, and let us add a ticket right now. So over here in search name, just leave it as it is. In assignee, say ticket. In followers, just say follow. Don't add anything for type and priority. I mean, if you want, you can, but in my situation, for this ticket, I'm not going to add anything. Okay, and I'm going to give it name as ticket C. And right here, and then click on submit as new. So this will be a new ticket that will be submitted. So the type over here is ticket and priority is empty or null. Okay, so in short, right now we have 4 sample records for this demo. Okay, so we've completed all of these steps. Now let us continue further ahead. We need to complete some additional steps for Redshift before we go ahead and create our flow. The first thing that we need to do is we need to modify our security group to open an inbound port 5439. So if you've ever worked with Redshift, you will know that this is the port that Redshift communicates on. So let us go ahead and open that port. So this is my default security group associated to my default VPC. And these are the inbound rules right here at the bottom. So let us go ahead and edit this inbound rules. Click on add rule. And then over here, let us select Redshift. And then over here, just open it up right now. Okay. And then click on save rules. So we have modified our security group. Now, since we will be migrating data from Zendesk to Redshift, we need to create a table in Redshift. Okay. So let us go ahead and create a table. Now, this is a small SQL script that I've created to create a table right here. It has 4 columns: ticket URL, description, type, and priority. So I'm going to go ahead and create this table. So this is Redshift right here. This is my query editor. And this is connected to my cluster, right? Change the schema to public. And as you see, there are no tables over here, and we will create this table right here. So go ahead and copy this particular statement and then click on run. So this should create our Zendesk table over here, right? Okay, it looks like our table has been created. So again, select the public schema, and this is a Zendesk table. And if you click on that, you should be able to see all the 4 columns. So these are our 4 columns right there. Okay, so we have created this particular table. After that, we need to go ahead and modify our cluster and make it publicly accessible. Now, this is the critical part, okay, of this tutorial. If you miss this step, you will basically get 502 or bad gateway. Okay, you will get this error. So if you, while you're doing this, if you get this error, you have probably missed this step. Okay, so immediately go ahead and check if your cluster is publicly accessible or not. Now, why is this step important? So this is my whiteboard, right? So let's say that this is your VPC. In this VPC, you have Redshift, right? This is AppFlow. This AppFlow is outside your VPC. So by default, resources that are within your VPC, right, they can access Redshift. But if Redshift has to be accessed by a resource that is outside of its VPC, right, outside of this VPC, then you have to make it publicly accessible. So in order for AppFlow to access VPC and connect and talk to VPC, you need to make it publicly accessible. Okay. So this connection to Redshift has to be established. So 2 things to keep in mind. The first thing that you want to do is you want to ensure that 5439 is open. And the next thing you want to ensure is that this cluster is publicly, okay, accessible. Once these 2 settings are done, you will not get any errors. So if you get, let's say, a 502, then check these 2 settings. Check your port and check your publicly accessible setting. This is extremely important. Okay. So let us go back and go to our clusters and select a cluster, go to actions and say modify publicly accessible setting and click on yes. Okay, so select yes. You don't need an elastic IP and click on confirm. So it is modifying our cluster right now. This is going to take a few minutes. So let us continue further ahead. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create an IAM role for Redshift, and to this role we will attach this policy, right? Amazon S3 read-only access. This is to provide read-only access to Redshift for S3. Okay, so you will notice that when you transfer data from Zendesk to Redshift using Airflow, it goes via S3. Okay, so the data is temporarily stored in S3, and you will actually see that. And that was one of the main reasons why we created that bucket as well. In fact, some of the records that are not going to be processed, that will also be stored in S3. Okay, hence Redshift needs read-only access to S3. Okay, so let us go ahead and create this particular role. So this is my Amazon console. Let's go to IAM and create this role. Okay, so click on roles, create a role, and select Redshift. And then select Redshift customizable and click on next permissions. Over here, we will select a role that provides read-only access to Red S3. Okay, so this is Amazon S3 read-only access. This policy is available. Click on next, and we will give it a name. So we will say my S3 Redshift role and copy this role name and paste it in your description as well. Okay, remember this role. In fact, let me note it down over here somewhere. Okay, and then click on create role. So remember that this role is going to provide read-only access to S3. Okay, so click on create role. So now Redshift has read-only access to S3. Okay. Okay, now we are here. Now we have created this role. Now we need to attach this role to our cluster. So again, we will need to modify our cluster. So let us go back to Redshift. Cluster is available. So click on your cluster, click on actions, and then click on manage IAM roles. Over here, you should be able to see that role. So this is our role right here, correct? My S3 Redshift role. I believe that was our name, my S3 Redshift role. Okay. Click on add IAM role and then click on done. So our cluster is currently being modified. Okay. And this role is being attached to our Redshift cluster. Okay. So we have completed all of these steps. Now we can go ahead and create an Amazon app flow. So let me switch to my app flow console. So this is my app flow console. Click on create flow. Over here, we will give a name. So we will say Zendesk to Redshift. Okay, so copy this, paste it right there. Next. Now we have to choose our source. So our source is going to be Zendesk. So click on Zendesk. And now we need to create a connection. So click on connect. Over here, you will see a bunch of steps, right? So it is telling us to get an OAuth token, okay, for our Zendesk account. So let us go ahead and create this token. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to log in, which I am already logged in. Then I need to go to advanced features, advanced settings, channels, and API. Okay, so let me switch back to my Zendesk console. Let us go to home. This is advanced features. After advanced features, I need to go to advanced settings. So this is advanced settings. We need to go to channels. And then in that, we need to go to API. And over here, we need to go to OAuth client. Okay, so it is telling us to go over here and choose our key. Now in our case, we will have to create a key. So we go to OAuth clients. And over here, we will create this particular key. So click on this plus sign, right? And over here, we will give a client name. So what client name should we give? We should give, okay, Zendesk OAuth. I think this is a good name. Copy it, paste it right there. Okay, company we can say is going to be self. And this is our client ID. This is a unique identifier. So we are going to copy the same thing. So copy it and then I'm going to copy this here. So client ID. Okay, and then we need to give it a redirect URL. Now in case of Amazon, use this as your redirect URL. So copy this and paste it right here. Okay, now click on save. Now the moment you click on save, it is going to give you the secret key. Okay, ensure that you copy the secret key and keep it aside. Okay, because this secret key is going to be displayed only once. So click on save. It's telling you that the secret key is going to be displayed. Click on OK. And now scroll down and click on copy. And copy this secret right here. Okay, so this is our secret. And then click on save again. So there we have our client ID and our secret. Okay, so let us now go back to AppFlow. We need to copy our client ID. So copy your client ID. Copy your secret. So we copy our secret. After that, we need to give a subdomain name. So remember I told you to copy your subdomain name. So this is my subdomain name. This is my subdomain name and I need to give it a connection. So Zendesk to Redshift is my connection. And click on continue. It is asking me to grant access. So I'm going to click on allow. And our connection has been established successfully. So now go ahead and select an Zendesk object. Now in our case, we are going to transfer data for tickets. So I'm going to select ticket over here. Okay, so this is our source. Now let us configure our destination. In our case, our destination is Amazon Redshift. So select that. Click on connect. Now we have to choose our S3 bucket. So this is my S3 bucket, Zendesk temp. We have to choose our IAM role. So we had created an IAM role that we associated with our cluster. So it's right here, my S3 Redshift role. We need to give our username and password. So in my case, my username is AWS user. Okay. And my password is AWS user, whatever underscore 123. And then I need to copy my JDBC URL. For that, go to Redshift, go to properties of your cluster. And over here on the right, you will see connection details, right? And if you click on view all connection details, okay, you will see JDBC URL. Copy this URL and then paste it right here. And finally, we need to give a connection name. So I'm going to say Redshift for Zendesk and click on connect. So our connection has been established successfully. Now this is the classic error that I have got while doing this demo. If you see, our destination has suddenly changed from Redshift, right, to Zendesk, if you see, okay? Let me see if I can highlight this over here. So this right here, if you see, this is where the error has occurred, right? Okay, let me get my pen. This part. See, this should have been our source. This is an AWS error that has occurred. Okay, I will report this error. But if you get this error, don't freak out. Okay, this is an AWS error. We have not done anything wrong. For some reason, I don't know why, but this thing happens. I've seen this a couple of times. I was not expecting this to happen during the demo, but hey, lucky me. Anyways, so this is what you get sometimes. Okay, so if you get this error, just go back and select Redshift. Okay, that's our destination. Select your connection that you created. Okay, select your Redshift or schema. So our schema is public. And our table is right here, Zendesk. Okay, awesome. So we selected our destination details. Now, if Appflow cannot write a record to destination, then we will tell it to write to an S3 bucket. So this is my S3 bucket. So it's going to write here. Okay. And then we are going to run this flow on demand. So this is on demand. Click on next. Okay. And over here, now we will have to map our fields. So first we have priority. So select, there must be priority somewhere, hopefully. There's priority right there. Okay, so map this field. Then we are going to select type. And you can pretty much select any field. I'm just going to select type over here. Map this field. Select description. For description, I'm going to put subject inside. Let's put subject. Okay, where's subject? I saw subject somewhere. Okay, there. Map subject. What is the third one? Ticket URL. Let's map URL to that. Okay, I found URL. Okay, we'll map that and map fields. So we mapped 4 fields over here. I mean, you can map all 23 fields. You can mix and match those columns. You can add formulas. You can do whatever you want, right? I'm just mapping 4 fields right now. Now we will add validations. Okay. Now click on add validation. And what we will do is we will validate our records on this field priority. Okay. So if I have to go back and if I have to go back to my records, the last record that I created, if you remember, right, this priority is null or empty or missing. So I'm going to validate on this. Hence, when we run this flow, right, we will only get 3 records. This record will be ignored or left out. So let us go back and say that if priority is missing or null, simple, ignore that particular record, right? Now click on next and let us add a filter over here. So click on add filter, say updated by, condition is after, I'm just going to select today's date. Today is 10th of May. So happy Mother's Day to all mothers who are watching this video. Okay, and basically all 4 records will meet this criteria, right? But because we have put in a validation, that 1 record will be removed. So at the end, we should still get 3 records. So let us go ahead and click on next. And now we have all our records right here, right? Everything is set. So all our filter criterias, everything have been set. So click on create flow and our flow should be created shortly. So it looks like our flow has been created. Now let us go ahead and run this flow. So it looks like it has processed our records. So let us see if our records have been copied. So go back, right? And say select star from Zendesk and run. And we should be able to see our 3 records over here, right? It is still running, which is a good sign. And here are our 3 records. So we have our 3 records coming in over here. Of course, ticket C did not meet the validation criteria, so it was ignored. Also, if we go here and look at our bucket, so this is Zendesk to Redshift right there, right? And this is our file. Let us download it. Let me open it. And this should basically be saved as a JSON. Open it, and here you have your 3 records right there, right? And this is exactly the information that has been stored in your Redshift table as well. So we have successfully transferred our data from Zendesk to Amazon Redshift. Hopefully this video is helpful. Do let me know your comments, and I will see you shortly in some other video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.